You know, they will say 10% of the total number of birds you have. That is to say, if you have 100 birds, you have to give them 10 kg of that feed. But you must be watchful of that feed, because sometimes you may overfeed them. In some cases where there are overfed birds, you will notice it from blood stains in the egg. You see, when they are laying, it's like they are forcing themselves to lay the egg because of the excess fat. So sometimes that overfeeding can also cause obesity to them.
First, let me pick it from siting. When you are siting your pen, when you are building your poultry, one of the things you should put into consideration is direction of the sun. So you must make you site the pen in such a way that the sun will not be penetrating into the poultry, so it will not be affecting the birds. So it's one of the things to put into consideration.
Using antibiotics on a routine basis, like having a particular period. Some farmers will say every month I use antibiotics, every 6 weeks you deworm, every month you use Lasota. One of the mistakes I've been making is I took advice of following some routine practices for antibiotics. So I use antibiotics often. So at a particular period of time, I discovered the birds, their liver, they have a friable liver over time, because liver is responsible for synthesis of chemicals and drugs they take, just like in humans also. So if you abuse drugs, liver is the one that do the synthesis of drugs you administer to them. So if you abuse drug and use it often, the liver has work to do all the time. And this is not like broiler production. Broiler production has a short cycle. Between 5, 6, 8 weeks max, you are done. So regardless of how you abuse the drugs, you might escape. But rearing birds of more than 2 years, if you abuse drugs, you live to face the consequences.
Their poo contains a lot of ammono acid that can be toxic to them. So it is important that if you are using a free range, you must be cleaning it daily, and you must also ensure that it is wide enough so that the birds don't just clump, they don't always come together, overcrowding will not occur.
And also, when you're having your pen, if you are doing a fence, you see that you are doing a fence, or you have it in a location whereby local chickens are not common. They are not going around, because local chickens go around with maybe a virus like Newcastle. So when they are airborne, the moment they go around your pen, even they are not entering your pen, since they are airborne, your birds will be affected. So it should be a place where local chickens don't go around.
If you give them multivitamin, it do helps a lot, but we have to follow the required meals. Don't just this is not broilers. Don't rush them with multivitamins just because too much multivitamins causes prolapse. Prolapse is a major issue in egg production, in layers, because if the bird suffer from prolapse, the vent of the chicken, when it lays egg and the vents do not retract back inside, that's what we call prolapse. And in that way, before the chicken can bounce back, before it lays another egg, because if the internal organs do not go back inside, it can't lay egg. So you already suffer like a week or more loss of egg from that bird. Then if you didn't notice that bird quite in time, you will lose the bird, because other birds in the same unit will peck. They will peck on the vent till the bird dies, because when they see blood, or they'll get attracted to it and they will start pecking. They will peck until the bird dies.
There is no way chicken don't pick from their litters. Birds, they will pick from their litters, so you must make sure the house is not dirty. So when the house is dirty with their litters, you have to pack it. Because when they start picking feed from their litters, there is a disease that we call coxswain. They are open to it. So you have to be careful with that. At the same time, when you are choosing what to put in their house, that is the sawdust. You don't use the sawdust, you use the wood shaver. So with the wood shaver, it's far better. The sawdust, when you are putting in, when they pick, it enters their nose. When you see them, when it enters their nose, you see them sneezing. That's when they develop disease that we call CRD, chronic respiratory disease. So, and there is no way they don't have this disease, because even their feet, you see powder in their feet, they inhale it. So the moment you start noticing that 1, 2, they are sneezing, use the medication meant for CRD. So you have to be very, very observant. Enter your poultry, walk around, notice their litters. If the litter is okay, if it's not okay, you know what to give to them.
You will be doing more danger to them giving them feed in the hot sun, because eating is a metabolic activity. It generates heat in the body. And these birds, most of these breeds, they didn't originate from Africa. Their weather is not compared to that of Africa, so they are more comfortable in a cooler climate. So giving them in the afternoon, most likely they are stressed in the afternoon because of the heat. You see some of them sitting down, panting, but based on their intelligence, if they see feed, if you give them feed again, they will stand up and eat again. But actually, it will cause more danger to them, because the metabolic activity will generate more heat, then they will become more stressed.